Guess it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening, Gator Nation Kingdom. Brendo is in the house. I am Buddy, and guess what happened tonight? All those times we said to you, stay loyal to the Gator Nation. This is what we're talking about. How's it feeling out there, GNK? It's feeling really good right now. What a day in the swamp, and yes, swamp fever is back. I know you're excited because you're just popping on here like crazy. Took a couple of minutes to get things cranked up again, get the old software working, and we are excited about tonight. Who knows what may happen? We're going to take your comments. I just saw the Crown Prince for the first time. I wasn't sure if he was going to be available, and here he is. Right here, he's coming strong. Come on over, bro. I got to get you another glass of it. Yeah, there's got beer. Yeah. What's that, bro? Hey.
You just start things too early.
Yeah.
I told you I was coming over.
I didn't know that. Didn't see the note.
You got your headphones on.
Yeah, well, I'll take them off.
Lord, oh my God!
Oh
my
God! Whoa, time to blow that horn, baby. Let it go. Let it go. Let it all go. Woo! It's how you feeling out there, Gator Nation Kingdom?
Go, Gators! Excited to see. About as excited as Budro gets.
Oh, it's a great day. It's a great day. We all have been hoping for something like this since that day that Dan Mullen got off the plane doing this right here, and we knew something special was up, Brendo. We knew it. And sure enough, it was a day to remember in the swamp. Who knew? We kind of hoped, we kind of knew. Did you believe? Did you believe? Did you really, really believe? I got to tell you today, there were some anxious moments, but you're playing with house money. Today, you already are 4-1. You're playing a good game against LSU, and I know all of you were, when Felipe Franks threw the pick to start the second half, I could hear the moaning and groaning. It sounded like Mick Huber's voice. He just totally exhales. He had no breath. I could hear the voices saying, "See, I told you that Franks was not a good quarterback. I knew he'd let us down." Well, guess what, Brendan? He didn't let us down. And he lived up to everything and more. And I tell you, as I said in my tweet today, not only did we get another big play from a defensive back that we barely knew, we knew about him, but Stewart's not a guy on everybody's radar. Not only did we get tremendous play calling, what a call on the left-handed pass from Kroll, right? Back to Franks to set up a touchdown by P. Ryan, and P. Ryan had a great game. And then, of course, Franks, he bit, but he did not break. He bit, but he did not break.
I don't know if we're going to sit here and have a discussion about how great Franks played or didn't
say great.
Because he didn't play all that great.
I didn't say, wait. I didn't say he played great. I said he didn't break.
Well, he didn't break. That's good. That's kind of his MO, which is good. I felt like it's exactly what we saw kind of last week. It's what I posted in the GNK before the game. I thought it was a hell of a coaching job, a really good game plan. I thought, as I thought at the beginning of the game, special teams was going to play a big part of what happened today, and field position game was a huge part of today.
Kicking game was fabulous.
The special teams. That's what I
special
said.
teams.
I posted in the GNK. This is going to be a huge special teams win for the GNK today.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's where this game was won. Now, obviously, defense played great, but that's the kind of game plan they came in. We're going to go play.
Yeah.
We're going to play ball position. We're going to play yard lines, and we're going to kick the ball deep, and we're going to play special teams and defense. And I think that's what won the football game with the pick six in the end and everything at the end. That's what happens when these kind of games come together and that kind of game plan comes together.
Dilly damn dilly.
I don't think that's dilly damn dilly.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
No, it's not.
Dilly
It's not a
damn
thing.
dilly.
No, it's not. It's just sure. I think Buddy's been drinking before I even got here.
That man had one single drink.
Buddy has been drinking before I walked in here. He got into the chest again. I can see your camera's crooked.
Why are you throwing shade around here, coming in here like this?
That's like
Let's get to some comments from people. Fran's beard come up in a moment. Where do we start? It was a terrific day for the people up there. We had a little meet and greet with the GNK people. I have a picture up I can throw in here. And I want to show a still picture of this pick, which is right over here.
We all saw it thousands of times.
I know. So
I know. Your picture frame grab is not going to do much.
Why are you so critical?
I'm not. I'm just trying to get the people in right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about the fact that I didn't want to see your frame grab. We all watched it like 10,000 times.
Okay. Anyway,
we have Jim Harris. We have the best defensive in the nation.
I won't go that far, but they're good.
They're pretty damn good. I'll tell you that.
Even the commentators today said something about it.
Well,
Danielson and they were talking about the defense. It was, where do we start? A bunch of comments. This is, Matt, you're right. It's getting fun. Certainly is getting fun, and this is what we'd hope for. I just think about the days of negativity and what it was like around here. What it's like. What does it feel like today by comparison? It feels so good. That's why I posted Swamp Fever's back. I was at the stadium, and they still are arriving a little bit late. There were still a lot of seats that sold out, 90,200, first time in 3 years.
It's hot.
But there were some spaces up in the east side there that were not filled in at the top. They were late getting out. I thought, well, this is not what we need. We need to see the stadium full. And anyway, so as it built on the day and things got and the crowd got into the game, got into the big defensive plays, they really got behind the Gators football team, and it began to feel like a little bit of old swamp magic there just for a while. It really did, and that's what Mullen talked about in his post-game show. So about how it was. So put those comments up there. Let's let them make sure you folks can weigh in, get some thoughts from you. I know Lynn Tyndall practically picked the score. He had it real close, and he reminded me of that.
Bunch of comments. Lynn saying the swamp. Keith Woolard, the swamp was rocking. Lynn's also saying, "Let's be real, Frank's was bad." Students did not show up early, says Ewayne Cohn.
I know I was there. That's what I just said.
He was commenting on your comments.
Yeah, I was not. They did not show up early. No.
Because it's a 3:45 game. Let's not pretend that we're all that old here. A 3:45 game, you're not going to get your drink on and your swerve on and all that. They're not going to. It's a Friday night. You're not going to even probably get going till about noon anyway. So the kids are going to be late. That's normal. You got an early afternoon game. I don't think that's a big deal. Let's see, Jay Harris. Where was Pierce?
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Didn't see him at all.
I don't know if they didn't trust him in the fourth quarter, or if it was on discipline, or what happened. But P. Ryan and Scarlett played pretty good day. P. Ryan is the back I've been talking about. He was the money player. He had his best day today. And what about the defense? Vosan Joseph, a record number of tackles. Polite was remarkable. Jabari Zuniga was bringing pressure on Burrow. The defense has really stepped up. The defense is becoming one of the best in the country. It's not the best, but it's becoming one of the best.
Well, I mean, they're definitely one of the most physical.
But they're also opportunists. Look at the plays of the playmakers.
Well, they got a good coach. I think Grantham's got a good scheme. Yeah. I like how they call a lot of those fake blitzes tonight. I saw a lot of that. Where it looked like they were going to bring the house, and they pulled back, played good coverage. The linebackers were able to get out, play good middle coverage. I think that made a difference.
Keith says he thinks Pierce is in an brace, so I didn't see that. But you're right. I mean, P. Ryan is the guy. He's a money player, and I just can't. I can't get past how good these pass rushers were. And every week, Grantham's secondary comes up with you didn't realize at the end of the game, you couldn't see it probably, but there was another interception by number 13, Donovan Snyder, to end the game.
To end the game.
He picked it off. So these guys that we haven't heard much about, they're starting to step up. Stewart, I mean, these defensive backs. So, it's
a team that believes. I think we had this discussion early in the year. He says when you get a bunch of guys who aren't supposed to be good, and no one expects them to be, decent or good or even this good.
Haven't even heard of most of them.
Well, that's where you get a lot of guys that gel and that start to play as a cohesive unit. And I think we might see a little bit of that right now.
Yeah.
But I think we discussed the positives, but what are the negatives? I mean, what did you see negatively? The defense was good. Special teams had its moments. I think the kicker had a great night.
Yeah.
The punter, what's his name? They had a great night.
Yeah, he did.
Career high 7-yarder.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
and they did a great job.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that there's a comment there. Of course, Les Miles bet Spurrier, and he had to put on a if FLSU lost, had to put on a visor, and he did. He called it a half a hat, and this Joe Reams is saying, I saw less in Steve's hat. He looked pretty bad. Looked good. I couldn't tell good or bad. I can't see that word there.
He looked pretty.
So
good.
Yeah, you're right. The special teams were terrific. And Tommy Townsend was wonderful. McPherson, the kickoffs were great. McPherson had a great kickoff at the end after a penalty. He really got into it.
Yeah.
Pinned them back there at a key time. I guess can't say enough about how these kids are playing right now. They're playing such a high level. And impressive win. I must say there were a couple of things that caught when the LSU got the ball and marched downfield with no problems. They played tempo. They got Florida on their heels. I thought this could be a long day, but then they got the turnover.
With Joe Burrow, it was great to see him. His first pick.
Yeah, first of the season, second of his career.
That's what I mean. Second of his career, first of the season. It was just
pick six.
Pick six. I mean, that's what you want. Like again, when you play physical, tough defense, you play ball position, field position all day long. You play that. I mean, that seems to be sort of their MO at the end of the game. It's back to back. Let your defense.
Well, they
go
had
and
no
win the
choice. They kept getting pinned, And,
he has no other choice. You'd rather have your defense on the field at the end of the game.
That's
your better squad.
That punter Rosenstern, what his name was for LSU, he was good too.
He was good. Yeah.
He was a heck of a punter, and killed Cole Tracy, Von Rosenberg. We got to call France Harry Speckens to call. Skype him in, but it was just a special day, and I really now do believe that things are turning around. The wheel is turning.
Well,
like we talked about. Now I know I'm not making predictions. It could go away. They got Vanderbilt this week, and then they're off.
No, I hate the Vanderbilt
but
game.
The game. Year. Well, I mean, look. Here's the deal. All of a sudden, Georgia looks very winnable. They were struggling a little bit with Vanderbilt earlier tonight. I don't know what happened, but this team is up for.
Look, regardless, this is huge recruiting win today. This is massive recruiting win. You had everybody in the house today, and Swamp was rocking. You had Tebow there. You had the 08 team there.
Yeah, it was great.
You had a full house. I mean,
flyover,
the whole nine. I mean, it doesn't get to be a better day, beautiful day outside. Great day for football. I think, and then you have a win at home against LSU. I think that's a huge, huge win for recruiting.
What do you think the big moment was? I asked the people here. I want to make this comment in my show on Friday. I had Paul Feinbaum was on. He was there today. And we talked. I asked him his opinion about this game and the big game and the Gators' chances. He said, "Let me ask you the same thing. What do you think?" And I said, "Well," and I gave him my theory. I thought Florida had better coaches, and that gave me the edge. And I thought Mullen has done a masterful job of making just the right call at the right time. I love his chessmaster moves he makes. And today, another one with Krull, a left-handed pitcher, by the way, in junior college. Nobody knew on the roster that he was left-handed or he could even throw a pass. I didn't even know it. has the throwback pass there on the perfectly timed play, just like the Kodak black play he had last week. So, and Mullen's got just the right knack of calling the right play at that time. So that's what wins football games, right?
Yeah, I think everyone was concerned with the play of Felipe Franks today. I think that's the blind.
Did they win the game?
Of course, they won the game.
Okay. Did even Danielson and Nestor said he's done about everything he can do in terms of throwing the ball, catching the ball. You know, he made one mistake. Of
I don't
course,
think anyone's questioning his
he's
heart.
going to make mistakes.
I don't think anyone's questioning his heart. I think that's just. Yeah. I think if we had to look at the
you know what, that ship has sailed. It doesn't matter what we think about that. He's the quarterback. Period. You better learn to live with it. It ain't going to be Kyle Trask.
I don't think that's the conversation. I think we're just talking about where the weak spots were tonight. You didn't feel like the weak spots were at the offense?
Franks was just about exactly what I expected him to be.
Which was it, mediocre at best in the third quarter? Couldn't start.
You want me to answer it or not?
I'm just asking you.
Well, you're giving me a commentary. You're not asking me.
No, I'm not giving you a commentary. It's just quick to judge the fact that I'm just saying. Look, that was our weakest spot.
You know what I don't like? It's a whine. It's a whine at a time when you should be enjoying a victory.
It's not a whine.
Whine about something when the kid got you the victory. You know, that's the key. Anyway, moving on. Let's get Franks on the line and see. I mean, people can if they want to obsess about Franks, go have it. That's fine. I'm happy with the situation. And by the way, Danny Werfel threw a lot of picks, just so you know. Okay? Like 3 in one game. So it's not bad.
You're comparing him to Danny Werfel now?
Well, it's a standard, isn't he? He's one of the Heisman Trophy winners.
Right. I didn't know we were comparing Felipe Franks to Danny Werfel.
I'm comparing him to the fact that quarterbacks make mistakes. And, you know.
You just compared it to Danny Werfel. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, I'm not going to bring it up anymore. You brought the subject up. I'm satisfied with his play. If you're not, hey, go call Mullen and tell him about it.
Oh, please. Hey, Franz Beer, are you there?
Yes, I am. Are you?
Yes, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Francis?
Good day has been had by all Gators.
We were. Sorry, I'm calling you on your other phone. That's your bat phone. Franz Beard is actually a superhero.
No, that's my sister calling my parents. So they got
the bat phone.
So anyway,
Franz, Buddy and I were just sitting here having the great debate and also debating the whole Mullen thing. The whole Felipe Franks thing as we were talking about the bright spots and the low spots today.
I'm not debating it. I'm happy with it.
I don't know. I was asking if you're happy. We were just having an analyst moment. That's all we were doing.
Having a discussion, but there's no debate.
No, Buddy's in his orange and blue mode, so I was just having a little bit of discussion. Franz, what's your take on tonight? I walked into this game this evening saying it's going to be about special teams and defense. Obviously, special teams was B+, defense was A+. What's your take on it tonight?
Well, I thought the offense wasn't as bad as what people think. I think the offense got the job done. Friday night, I made a comment. I said, you watch, Dan Mullen is going to save up some plays, and at the exact moment he needs, he's going to run a pretty conservative game. And then when he needs some big plays, he's going to dial them up. And we saw that happen about 3 or 4 times in this game, that Mullen came in with the play that just caught LSU completely flat-footed. Franks, I thought, with the exception of that bad throw there, and that game, let's face it, if he hits that throw at the start of the second half, Florida could have gone on and blown LSU out, because LSU was ready to fall right then and right there. And he made a bad throw. He trusted his arm throwing off his back foot, and he shouldn't have. If he had dumped the ball off to LaMichael Perrine would, could have walked into the end zone. Everybody was with the wide receivers, and LaMichael Perrine had he had an easy walk in there. But you know what? And when I look at what happened last year when Old Yeller and Doug Numbnutsmeyer were coaching him, and I see him now, and I see every single game there's progress being made. Every single game I see things about him that make me glad that he's being coached. And I just think that the good things are going to happen for him. I think that when it came crunch time, Franks played well. He makes that catch there on that throwback play. Did a great job of making a hesitation there so that everybody eased up, and then all of a sudden, boom, he puts on the burst of speed, and he's wide open there. Another game where he makes progress. Is he a polished product? Not yet, but he's going to get there.
Yeah, I think the defense really is the story right now anyway. And not only are they playing well, they're making crucial plays late in the game. Here again, another defensive back, two of them actually, because we saw another pick made by Steiner tonight, just like last week. But the one that was really the killer was the one that was made earlier, and the pick 6 by Stewart, who hardly has been mentioned. I remember seeing Stewart get beat real bad once earlier in the year, and I don't know much about him. But they're making plays. Now, is Joe Burrow just not that good or whatever? But I mean, they got burned that first. Like I said, the first series, they took it down the field. It looked pretty easy. Florida was not ready. The linebackers are not ready, and that tempo threw them off. But as the game went on, they played better and better. What I want to see out of my quarterback is, and I think Mullen, this is what he believes, is I know he's going to make mistakes. I want to see him not make the same mistake, and I want to see him not go into a funk when he makes a mistake. Just like in golf, where you can't have a triple bogey and get mad about it and go on triple bogey the next hole. You got to move on. And so I think from that standpoint, Franks has grown up a lot. And hey, he's got a 5-1. They're 5-1, and there's a team. And the great thing is, the magic is back in the swamp, which was great today. That was a good feeling to go there and see that and feel it and see what was going on down there. And it's not 100% back, but it's getting back, and it's trending the right direction. And so I feel like overall it was a tremendous day for Florida football, for Dan Mullen, for the swamp, for Gator Nation, and now hopefully the fun begins. But do not that your expectations run wild here and get angry because the Gators don't make the Final Four, right?
Well,
I think that's friends, not to interrupt you, but that was more of what the conversation that I'm trying to say right now. I think a lot of people now, because I spend a lot of time online reading a lot of comments, I think some people are going to think now we're going to go, compete for, be in the conversation, win the national championship. I think that's a little bit lofty, even after today's win. Friends, am I wrong?
Well, look, the Gators aren't going to compete for a national championship this year. In fact, nobody's going to compete for the national championship except maybe Alabama and possibly Ohio State. And after watching Ohio State today, I question that if their defense can get the job done, because maybe they just had some hangover, but they've certainly got the offense that can do it. Tua actually played a series in the second half today. One series, they get a touchdown, that's it. But Florida is going to be a team that's going to get better. Every single week, you're looking for things, and this is a team that's learning how to win. They have risen off the mat from a really embarrassing loss to Kentucky. And look at what they're doing. They had 5 sacks, 11 sacks in the last 2 games, 17 sacks in the last 4. Wow. I mean, this is a team that gets after it. The offense, they ran for 213 yards today on a team that was giving up 88 yards a game.
Outrushed LSU.
Well, I think that's what we saw a lot about the offense tonight, is the running game seemed to really emerge. P. Ryan was pretty awesome. I saw a couple of decent runs by Scarlett tonight, which was good. Mm-hmm. I even saw Felipe Franks scamper in the first half to try to get things going because he didn't really trust his arm after he was 1-5. So I think we saw definitely some improvements in that. Friends, I guess my whole feeling on all of this is that this whole team just looks really well coached. They looked really, really well coached. This team is is being coached up. And I think that's what you see in a lot of different positions, key positions. Good players are becoming great. Okay players are stepping up. Even the scout team is feeling like they can believe and they can win. And I think that's a product of really great coaching. I thought we saw a good game plan tonight. I think Grantham is coaching a pretty good defense right now, with a lot of different schemes. A lot of guys are flying around. There's a lot of, less arm tackling that we saw in the Kentucky game. And I think you're seeing more of a physical sort of defense. I just think that comes from great coaching. And I think that's what we're seeing finally in the Swamp as these guys are getting coached up.
Well, here's a stat for you today. Florida had 5 sacks, but in addition to those 5 sacks, Florida had 8 quarterback hurries.
Yeah, they were great. Those guys were awesome. I mean, Vosan Joseph had his career game, and Polite was remarkable. Zuniga got in there; he had a career game, and the defense is hard to and then as a result, the defensive backs look good. Because the pressure on the quarterback is good. I love Grantham's schemes. Some of the blitz packages he said are great to watch.
Well, even some of the fake blitz packages I thought they sold the blitz tonight really well, especially in the second half, and then dropped back and played pretty good pass defense. So I think he's got he's got those guys that defense hitting in all cylinders.
Well, here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Joe Burrow is the real deal at quarterback.
No kidding. I was impressed with him tonight quite a bit, especially in the first half.
But here's the thing. When you're on your back 5 times, and it's always and people are coming from your backside and hammering you, and 8 times you have to throw the ball before you're ready, or your arm gets hit as you throw, whatever like that. That he did as well as he did was amazing. Florida beat a really fine football team and a really fine quarterback, and I would not be the least bit surprised if next week LSU knocks off the Georgia Poodles. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Friends, how good are the Florida Gators right now if their offense is a little better?
They're going to be. Their offense is going to get better. They had 3.
But how good how good are they if they have this defense and say an LSU offense or maybe something that's a little bit more scores a little bit more points? What's your opinion?
Well, the offense is going to get better. The offense is getting better. Still some things that have to be worked out. I'll tell you one thing that happened today that was an improvement. You saw Brett Heggie in there almost the entire game.
The whole game.
Guard. And what happens? The running game just absolutely took off.
No question.
And we didn't have the usual 7 false starts by Fred Johnson. He's good typically for a false start a quarter and at least a holding.
Yeah, but Ivy's still doing it.
But what can I say? Ivy needs to be moved inside the guard, and I think they would if they had confidence that Stone Forsythe could get the job done at left tackle. Yeah. But this Florida team's getting better offensively. They are a work in progress. But
I think they're rushing.
Making progress.
I feel like the offensive line is playing better. They're gelling a lot better. Obviously, the rushing game's getting a lot better. It was impressive to see and see them being coached up by and embracing Mullen's offense. How much of the playbook you think's installed now, Franz?
I think they've got it all installed. How much of it are they confident in? That's
what I mean. We see a lot of penalties, false starts, that kind of thing. So just
that's just execution.
Yeah. Well,
they've got all the playbook installed. Yeah. The question is, how much of it?
How much do they use?
How much are they confident in to run? Are they confident to stick any single play in their playbook in a game if the situation calls on it? I don't think so.
All right, here's what I want to say. We talked all around this. How good is Florida? What is Florida? Because now we can pause for a moment and say 5-1 halfway through. This is such a huge win for all the reasons that we know. The fact that now there's one that you can put a gun, you can notch your gun, being the number 5 team in the country, the game that you were expected to lose. I had them losing to LSU when I picked the preseason. I picked them to win the game Friday. But here's the deal. All of a sudden, look at the schedule. Let's be realistic about it. Now, I know we're not supposed to do that. Let's just take each game as it comes. Next week, Vanderbilt, that's a W. You're off a week. You go to 6-1. Now, suddenly, the Georgia Bulldogs come to Jacksonville, and they are not the indomitable Georgia Bulldogs anymore. They are beatable. This Florida team is playing better. And we say, well, they can't beat Georgia. Well, they couldn't beat LSU, supposedly either. So now we can say it's a buy-in not just from the Gators, from the players and the program. It's a buy-in for the fans. Where are the Gators now? What can you do? So let's just go through it real fast. Let's say they lose to Georgia, okay? They're still 6-2. Missouri is going to be a tougher game than you think, but I'm going to have their win now at 7-2. South Carolina, they'll beat 8-2. Idaho, they'll beat 9-2. And now Florida State. Florida State could be the 10th win of the season. Back after Kentucky, did you ever think there's a possibility Florida could win 10 games this season?
I thought they would win 6 or 7 after that.
Most of us did. Yeah.
Because I just, the one thing I couldn't see was I couldn't see them. I didn't see the improvement with the tackling. I didn't see the improvement with the defensive intensity that we saw. Yeah. And that's the big thing that I think we've seen is I think we've seen the improvement. These guys understand now that they can't take plays off. They understand they got to be totally focused on every single play. And we still have those occasional lapses. I think on that drive that LSU just ran the ball down their throats there in the fourth quarter, I thought that Florida had a lapse in their defensive focus. I thought their minds went wandering off somewhere. And, but that play, that drive might have been the best thing that happened to the Gators the whole game because, boy, it was like focus got rebooted. It was like starting the computer all over again, and they got totally rebooted. And, wow, what a change. What a change after that one thing, after that one drive, because from that point on, that defense was just laser focused and wow, hard hitting, just doing everything they needed to do.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. With all this stuff we're talking about, meanwhile, there's things happening around the SEC. Mississippi State's about to go up big on Auburn. Look at Auburn, what a disaster they've become.
Well, no offensive line, and if you don't have an
but I mean, look at the way things are going for these teams that we thought were going to be good.
Kentucky's tied at 7 against A&M.
Yeah, so. Well, I like Kentucky in that game. They may not win it. I think I'll give them all they want. But the rest of the league, I mean, look, you just don't know what's going to happen in football in November. We've seen too many seasons when things happen. If you're trending up and you're playing well and you don't have any major injuries and you like your team and you like your coaches, a lot of things are possible. So I think really basically this is a hump game today. This was the game they needed today to have a really successful season the rest of the way. Because A, their defense has gotten really good. B, they get big playmakers, especially in the secondary and on the rushers on the edge. And C, Franks he's usable. He's adequate. He's okay. Serviceable, whatever. And
Trent
now you've got he's a little better than Trent Dilfer in my opinion in his league. He's got a better arm. He can throw the ball deep. Anyway, and he's not a 5-star. I get
Trent
that.
Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he didn't win it. I saw the game. He was just the guy who was a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
Was there for the game and covered it. Anyway, bottom line is that I think the real X factor here is Mullins' play calling and his use of his players and Grantham's blitzes, which have been ingenious. That is really clicking right now. So that's what I feel good about. The players are playing better. They're getting better. And they're consistent. They're not beating themselves. And here, lo and behold,
I feel like Grant. I feel like the coaches have done a really good job assessing the talent that they have.
Yeah, they have,
and playing the guys that they have at the right spots.
You never heard of Stewart before? No,
that's what I'm saying. We're hearing of guys we've never heard of before.
Heard of him,
but they're developing talent that just wasn't developed.
And that's part of coaching.
Right, this is my point. Is that they're developing talent that wasn't developed under McElwain and his regime, and the guys that were drafted, the guys you never heard of, that all through the recruiting years that we heard that were good and 3- and 4-star potential athletes that are buried there. He's digging up all these old rocks and shining them up, and I think that's what we're seeing a lot of.
And that's what we said from the day one. France and I did. When Mullen came in,
I did nothing
and
to
you
do
probably
with that.
You may have too. I'm just saying. I remember conversations that France and I had about the great thing of the one problem McElwain had. He couldn't develop any talent, and this is the one thing that Urban did well, and also Mullen does well. He develops talent. You may have said the same thing. I'm just having to recall a conversation with France about it, and so that is a big plus. You're right. That is a big plus, getting the talent developed. So this is a really, really good place to be right now.
Well, here's another thing that I'd like to hit on that is something to consider as well. You never got the feeling during the entire time that Old Yeller was the head coach that there was that 100% trust. Trust goes both ways, and you never got the feeling that everybody on both sides trusted each other. I got the feeling that since that Kentucky game, the trust factor, Mullen has shown he trusts his guys. His guys have shown they trust him. And it's a beautiful thing to see, guys.
Especially, Franz, at the quarterback position. And I've had my conversation tonight about Franks, but I think it bodes well for potential future recruits that the guy like Dan Mullen sticks behind his guy. I think when some other coaches may have played 2 quarterbacks or even 3 quarterbacks in this scenario or whatever, or had a controversy going on for a couple more weeks, Mullen came out from the beginning and said, I'm going to pick my guy, that's my guy, and I'm ride or die with him. I think that bodes well for his confidence in a young quarterback in a place that knows that he can come and be developed. I think what you said, France, is particularly true in that position more than any of the others. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so, and I can tell you something else that we saw today. Felipe Franks took a couple of hits that Ajax couldn't take off.
He took some smacks today. A la Tim Tebow shots.
He took some hits, and he got up from those hits, and he may have had tears in his eyes, but by golly, he wasn't going to let his team see him, whining or whatever like that. He gets up, he's clapping his hands, he's saying, come on guys, let's get this done. You only saw positive things from him. I thought today he took a huge step in the leadership department. I just thought that what we saw out of him today was extraordinary.
I'm going to add this footnote because this can go off the rails easily. Seems to be something that people seem to love to get a hold of. You got all the pieces you need to be a really good football team this year. Not great, but good, and maybe better than good. And
with a little luck, who knows?
Could be. Anything's possible. So let's not worry about the deficiencies, because we're winning despite the deficiencies. I say we, meaning they. And I think you just acknowledge what you got. So you're better at some things than you are at others. And the surprises have been so pleasant. I mean, the kicking game and special teams have been phenomenal. The defense has been really good.
I thought the special teams and tonight, and what's his name? The punter's name? I keep forgetting his name.
Keep forgetting. They show you right here.
I thought he played great tonight.
Townsend.
Yeah, Townsend. I just feel like you got
don't forget
Freddie
about,
Swain catches the ball and never lets it go.
Don't forget about Evan McPherson.
Yeah, I just feel like you know the mark of a good team that's coached real well by good special teams.
Yeah.
And Florida's got good special teams, and they play field position pretty well today.
They did. Franz, do you have any numbers there on the? I'm sure you look at the stats there. They outrushed LSU. Penalties might have been up being kind of even. Florida had a lot more in the first half.
Florida outrushed LSU 215 to 180.
And LSU outpassed Florida by a couple of.
By 15 yards. Florida had 176 passing yards. LSU had 191.
How many plays did they run? The LSU had more.
LSU had 60 offensive plays. The Gators had 56.
Yeah.
You know, and this goes to what we had talked about last week. Florida was going to run a conservative game plan. Mm-hmm. What Mullen was not going to come out there and go wide open, lights out, tempo from the beginning. What he was going to do was he was going to pick and choose his spots, and he did. He set them up for that option. Wow, how great was that? He sets them up for the throw to Josh Hammond there in the first half. And again, totally sets them up. He sneaks Lucas Kroll in the game. And here's the cool thing. Nobody on LSU understood that Lucas Kroll is left-handed. And he's a former baseball player. Mm-hmm. And he's here at Florida. He was playing junior college baseball.
Yeah.
And he's here at Florida. He wanted to play football again, and he remembered that Mississippi State had recruited him in the past. Mm-hmm. So they take a shot on a guy like that. And last week, he makes an important catch. This week, he makes an important contribution with a throw. I got to tell you what, am I the only one that understands that this is a coach that actually got a game plan? He actually has, he sees the pieces falling together.
No, because I talked about it on the show Friday with Paul Feinbaum. This is what happens. He pulls these guys out of a hat, and they go in and they make plays. This is the great thing about this team.
He's coach of the year if they win 10 games.
They're going to win 10 games.
If they win 9 games.
Yeah, they're going to win 10.
Coach of the year.
And you know what?
Turn this program around from
we don't even know yet how good this team could be.
Well, that's I think why people press about the little things and the Felipe Franks and all that. I think that's why people press, because I think they see what we all see is a really good team, a really good, talented, gelled, well coached, sort of getting disciplined and more disciplined now, less penalties, etc. I think we're seeing that kind of team. I think people get excited when they see it.
Yeah, so Jennifer goes 11-1, 11-1. Yeah, she's been saying 12-0. All right, so friends, we're going to wrap this up and call it night. I got to get a whole Hunter for a minute.
A&M just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, they did. I think what we have to say is that at this juncture, things are better for the Gator fans and Gator Nation than we expected to be. And I was at the game. I can tell you the middle of the swamp. Someone asked about the recruits. We never know how the recruit. We can't talk to the recruits. We don't know what they thought. I mean, there's nobody to tell that.
But we know that it was a packed house tonight.
Of course, they had to be impressed. But
I'll get Jason Higdon on here from Monday night, and we'll let Jason tell you what the recruits think.
Yeah, he would know, but we don't talk to him.
There is nobody better than Jason Higdon for having the pulse of the recruits.
It's just that people think we have access to them at the games. We don't. We don't talk to the recruits.
We just see them on the sideline.
Yeah, but we don't know what they say or do. And later on, they'll talk to people like Jason and tell them. So, but clearly it's a win for recruiting. It's a win for the Gator Nation on a comeback trail, rejuvenation and redemption. That's the thing. People are feeling good now about this Gator football team. Like I said before, you're buying stock. You buy it because you feel good about it, and it's looking better long term. So it's a great day for Gator football. It's a great day in the swamp. It's a great day to see Tim Tebow there, all that went with it, and it was just a wonderful day. We all spent time in the swamp 10 years ago when there was that magic. And while I'll fall a little short of saying
touchdown,
I'm going to fall a little bit short of saying the Magic's back, but there's some magic back there today, and that is a good sign.
Magic is like anything else; it grows, and this magic is growing. This team is a work in progress. The magic is growing. You got to remember something. Urban was 9-3 that first year, and it wasn't until the South Carolina game, a loss at South Carolina. They come back on the plane, and the plane sat on the tarmac for 3 hours because they had a team meeting on the plane in which Jeremy Mincy, Jarvis Herring, and Vernell Brown literally took over the team and basically told the guys, if you're in, be all in, and if you aren't, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. And from that point on, the entire Florida program transformed. You have those moments when things change. And I think for Florida, that moment when things changed was the Kentucky loss. We're going to look back on that Kentucky loss as, wow, that was the turning point in the Dan Mullen era.
No doubt about it.
Just the second game of the season. But it was the turning point. And what we've seen since then is we've seen a team that trusts the coach and a coach that trusts the team. And when you got that going, a lot of good stuff happens.
Good stuff, Francis. Thanks, buddy, for coming on. Appreciate it.
See you, Brian.
Guys.
Take care. Have a good night. We'll talk Monday. Thank you.
Monday night it is.
Iron Duke. There he is, folks.
Francis Beard.
Yeah. We're going to call Hunter. That was the number on there. I had it plugged in there. Rolling with. Just you make a quick comment. I got a picture of him here in his new shirt too. So I mean, I was by myself at the end of the game because I'd left to come home, and you weren't here. But I tell you, it was an exciting moment to see, and for a lot of people, including this guy who's been a lifelong Gator fan. And look, he's got his new shirt on tonight. Man, dude, look at this dude. We can't see it, Hunter. We can't see your shirt. Can you hear us okay?
Oh, yeah. What's going on, guys?
How are you, man? Hunter is a longtime intern, friend of ours, by the way, and now big shot with Golf Channel. And he wants to weigh in for a minute and make a comment about been a long time, Hunter, since we've had these kind of feelings about things at the Swamp, huh?
Well, yeah, buddy. A stat that stuck out to me is that Dan Mullen is the first coach since Galen Hall to win his first 2 games against a ranked opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He made up some ground tonight, and also the fact that they had a top 5 team ranked in the Swamp and beat them was, that's shades of old there. It's like the old days, right?
That's huge, absolutely. I remember, looking in the fourth quarter when your back's against the wall, LSU drives down and scores with 11 minutes to go, and then Florida responds with P. Ryan.
Yeah.
That was just absolutely incredible, the way that they responded midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that call for Curl throwing the pass was what set everything up there. Then, of course, P. Ryan was all over the place. He's my favorite back. He has been all year, and a guy that has gotten some key yardage. If I was going to say one thing, I didn't think the receivers played that great today. There were a couple of drops. Grimes dropped one. They played okay, but they got so many good ones, and I guess you expect them to play. But I think the thing is this team plays just good enough to win, to get it done, and they make the plays necessary. And I like their style of football. I like the style of coaching.
Absolutely. Ton of positives to come out of this game. They've already matched their takeaway total from last season of 17. So there's a ton of positives going forward for the Florida Gators.
Best team in college football right now in takeaways.
Number of takeaways, not plus minus.
No, number of takeaways, though.
Yeah, they lead the nation. I think they lead
the nation.
Not in plus minus, but in total.
So after the sack.
Yeah. Well, they were really their sack. They were getting to the. Of course, I guess that speaks to the injuries in the offensive line that the LSU have.
Yeah.
They got to the quarterback really well today.
Yeah, they did.
Wow, did they ever?
Who's your favorite player, Hunter?
I really like Zuniga.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love some good D linemen. That's the way you got to go. And I think that Felipe is just coming along. Dan Mullen's calling all the right plays at the right time.
Is.
Florida it just looks like he knows exactly when to call the right play.
He does.
They're never out of position. He's never asking him to do too much.
Well, he's a chess player. I mean, you feel like you're watching a guy play chess every time. I just enjoy watching his style of football. And I enjoy watching the discipline that he keeps trying to instill on this team, and how he can. I say it again. He finds the diamonds in the rough, and he coaches them up. I mean, that's just amazing. And what he's done with this team in a short amount of time. This was basically the same team that we were discussing in November with, 4 wins and the dismal another end of a decade of miserable football. He's turned this entire program around, fan base around, turned haters into lovers, and Gator Nation is starting to believe again, which is unbelievable.
The biggest thing for me will be to see how the team responds going into Nashville this weekend.
I hate this game.
It's a noon game.
Yeah, I know.
It's early.
The Vandy game is always, and Florida always plays the first half against Vandy rough for whatever reason. They play down to them or whatever, but I always hate playing Vanderbilt.
Absolutely, because when you watch them, it seems like you said, they play down, and sometimes they take them for granted. And Derek Mason, I was just watching the Georgia game.
I'm watching it right now.
Playing at a high level.
Yeah. So, Hunter, we only got a couple minutes. What do you expect out of this team?
Well,
You've been doing film study. You've been doing film study.
Oh, cool.
Hunter's been film study.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Right now, I think they can go. I think they can pretty much take it to Georgia. It's going to obviously come down to Florida, Georgia. Big game in 3 weeks from now, and I'm really excited about it.
Well, I tell you, it's been a good day and good to share with an old friend. Good to talk to you again. We've been wanting to get you on here for a while. Study some more of those films, and we'll talk again. All right.
Good to see you, Hunter.
Thanks, guys.
Break it down, Hunter. All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hunter Turner.
Thank you.
Turner, one of my good buddies.
Down at the Golf Channel now, right?
Yes, he's working at the Golf Channel. Yep. He worked at the radio show with us for 5 years. So.
Oh, by the way, I wear my orange, buddy, because it's my good luck. This is
actually a blue shirt in there, you know.
Well, I know, but I wear this. I've worn this since.
Oh, this is your good luck shirt.
The hat shirt combo now.
So if they ever have a orange out, you're good.
We did have an orange out.
Another one.
I'm just, this is my lucky shirt and my lucky hat, so I don't want to hear it.
All right. Well, it's good. Working for you good right now.
Well, hey, what are you going to do?
So here we go. Next 2 weeks,
so
Nashville, and then the off week, and getting ready for the stretch run.
All right. Well,
Anybody got any final thoughts? Give them to us now.
Go Jimbo.
I think my favorite moment in the game.
Well, you're going to have all week to talk about it.
Well, I'm
just talking about your favorite moment.
Thinking about
right
it now. Well, the first one comes to mind.
Well,
mine was the throwback pass with Kroll. That was my favorite.
Of course,
moment.
you love that stuff because it's all quarterback. Because you were a quarterback.
No, I loved it because it was a perfect
She's
time.
a quarterback guy.
It may have won the game for him. I thought it was a great call. And Mr. Negative, what did you like?
I was not Mr. Negative. You're just Mr. Uber Orange and Blue tonight. That's all it is. You're never an Orange and Blue guy.
More people are like me.
No, more people like me. I'm the huge
a whiner?
Orange and Blue enthusiast. A whiner of none of the sort. Yeah, I just watched the game with a little bit. I didn't go to the game this time. I watched it. Had a little bit take. I think when you watch it on TV, you might have a little bit of probably a little take on it. I think because there's always the disconnect. You go to the game, you come home, you get wrapped up in the fanfare of it all. You go, and then you come home and you watch the game, and then you see it a little bit different. That's just the way it is.
Look at this. This is the thing that's fun right now, and it is like C.J. Stafford. Do we crack the top 10? No,
we don't. Crack the top 10.
But you might crack the top 15.
Yeah,
it might be 15 or whatever.
It's somewhere in there. It depends on what happens at Kentucky tonight.
Yeah, true. And so, but there
Kentucky
are
wins, then that loss isn't.
But you still got your game if Kentucky loses. Now remember too, in Georgia, you got to play Kentucky, right?
Oh, Kentucky's yeah.
But I mean, but now Georgia beats Kentucky
Next week,
too,
right?
And then Florida beats Georgia.
Well, I know.
Which is
this
still
is the game.
I'm playing one
You've been
right
playing
now.
this. You love this game.
No, Brendan.
It's like your favorite.
No, it's not. I don't play this game. I'm telling you now, realistically, you can start to think about these things. You couldn't do it before because there was not enough data. There was not a sample here, enough sample. Now we have enough sample to see what's in front of us. We see this team, what it can do, what it could be. 5-1. They got some elements that are really good, and they're getting better. And what if they continue to get better? And by the way, some teams get worse. And we have the old theory of north and south. In the end of the year, the last 6 games, some teams go north and some go south. And some good teams go south.
Well, that was the big article, and the emerging teams in the second half of the season. What was it, 247, whatever.
I've done it 100 times over the last 6
Well, I
years.
understand. So it's who's got the momentum going into second half. Now, Florida clearly has got momentum.
It's a long season. The season's not decided in September or October. So November is always the crucial games. Yeah. We got some good ones. John Enrico seems to think more like me. What do you think alike?
The thing is you think like this now, but then come Monday, you'll have a different opinion.
No, I don't.
You will.
Guarantee you I'll be feeling the same.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it helps to have been there at the swamp today and see it and feel it and touch it and know it's there. It's a different feel for it. And I got to tell you, I just had this gnawing feeling in my that they weren't going to be able to stop LSU. And I'm just thinking, you know what? I don't know if they're good enough to do this. But like others who have doubted Florida, I was doubting Florida, and I was saying, well, maybe they're not good enough.
That's not the
Guess what?
That was the opposite feeling that we had.
They're better than what we thought they were. They're better.
Defensively.
Well, that's part of the team. Defense.
They're better defensively than we thought.
I don't care if they win 3-0. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, people all hung up on this. Well, he's not this.
Look,
win the games. That's all that matters.
I watched my Denver Broncos win Super Bowl championships based off of great defense. I know defense wins football games. There's no question. I've always felt that way. I think there's too much focus a lot on the quarterback position and too much focus sometimes on offense. When you have a defense like this, special teams play like this, a coaching staff like this, and schemes like this, and you got a guy like Todd Grantham. I mean, he's coaching his mind out right now.
And he's had his ups and downs. They hated him at Georgia when he was there.
Well, of course they do.
Again,
like in a lot of ways, he's being coached up by his boss.
You're right. There's Kevin. He was there today. Yeah, the swamp is back. You're right, Kevin. Absolutely. The winning attitude is back. It's contagious, says Mike. Lynn said 28-17. Good call, Lynn. Good call. And Tracy, I saw her today. Could you put a picture up for me?
No.
Happy times of my friends today.
I don't know where you have it.
So. It's right over in the little corner. It's just these are part of the happy days today. It's happy times if I can find it. It's right here. Is this it right here? I can't tell.
I don't know what you got.
It's a photo. I pulled it up earlier, and I wanted to show. We had a little meet and greet today, and all of our friends, your friends, were there, and. Well, first of all, here's a little shot here. This is Nat, who did a heck of a job today, by the way. Good job, Nat. And there is the mother of Gardner Johnson, Chauncey, right there. She was there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she was there. It was great. Good to have her there. And then there's a shot here of the crew. I don't think I'm not finding it right now. I thought it was there, but I guess it's not. It was fun. It was fun. Fun day. A good spot. We had a little meet and greet. So, we don't have any more home games soon. We have a couple more weeks where we have those. And I'm ready for October to get rolling here. Enjoyed talking it. Thanks, Brenda, for coming over tonight. You folks still got to talk among yourselves there. Go ahead. But I'm going to wrap this up and go watch some more football. And tomorrow I'll watch the replay. And maybe Monday, if Brendan's around, he can come over with me. We can talk about it and chit-chat a little about that. So it was a good day. Good day to be in the swamp. Good day to be a Gator. Good day to be doing the Gator Nation Kingdom that you formed back in January when you said we got to all get along here.
Yeah.
And it feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, after a win, it's easy.
Well,
G&K gets along after a win.
Well,
it's after the losses that things get.
But we celebrate those,
yes,
right?
we celebrate
those. We celebrate things like this too, by the way.
Yes, what things?
There he goes, Stewart with the pick
All
six.
Right. Let's say goodnight.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I don't care. It's a beautiful thing.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
I'm going to stay up here about 3 hours. You guys go ahead.